You know, when you win parliamentary primaries, you still have a general election to face. But there are some people, when you win the primaries, you can actually start counting or calculating your ex gratia. My guest tonight falls in that category. He's from the World Bank of the NDC, Ketu North constituency. James Kluchaveji is the MP there. He's decided not to run again. His beautiful grey beard said, "Minye biom, naga we hao." So when it became a contest or a field to be contested, Edem Agbana, who was a national executive of the NDC at the time, decided not to seek re-election, instead focus on the Ketu North constituency. And through a primary that was keenly and hotly contested, he emerged victorious. So he's a parliamentary candidate of the NDC in Ketu North, and he's my guest on Prime Blank. You're welcome to Prime Blank, bro.
Amaga, Akbe, thank you so much for the opportunity. I think the last time I came here on Point Blank was 5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yes, 5 years ago. So it's been a while. I'm happy to be here.
That's a long time.
Yes, such a long time.
You were busy doing politics in the ground and things.
Yes, well, the job day ground.
The last time I saw you, we were distributing relief items in the region, in the Volta region, during this recent flood.
Yes.
And then we saw you busily doing community engagements. I didn't know that when you are from a constituency like that, and after winning the primaries, you still have to doing groundwork. Well,
Sandra, let me say good evening to our cherished listeners, especially to the good people of Ketu North. And let me use your platform to once again thank them for the warm reception, encouragement, and overwhelming support that I enjoy from them every now and then. You asked a very important question. People are asking, why are you working so hard? Why are you still moving around the constituency and all of that? And my answer is one, yes, I am confident that I will win the elections, but I am not complacent. And also, we have set for ourselves a very, very high target, which is to get 90% of the people on the register to go out and vote. So we are looking at 90% turnout and 85% plus
of the
turnout voting for us.
I see.
I made a personal pledge to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama that I will give him over 90% of votes in Ketu North. And so we are not sleeping, we are working.
I see.
And also it's about the people. I enjoy being with my people, working for them, working with them, listening to them, speaking to them, engaging them. And so we are working very, very hard. I've never rested since I was declared winner of the parliamentary primaries.
Edem, you're a young person.
Yes.
How did you enter this politics? Why did you enter politics? And how did you enter it?
Well, I say that I started when I was very, very young. I started from school, right from primary school. Your teachers and colleagues identify you as the one who can put the class in order, so be a class prefect, all of that. When I got to Maoli school.
What was your basic school?
No, so my first school was Hipe LA primary school in Ketu North.
Okay.
Then I went to Labaoleshi Presby JSS
in Accra.
Okay. It wasn't as beautiful as you see it today.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's my school. Then I attended Maoli Senior High School.
Maoli.
In Ho, yes. And so I'm a proud Maulian.
I see.
Where again I was president of the debate society. I was the Lincoln House captain and held some other positions in other clubs and then also in class. And so leadership has always been a part of me. But when I got to the University of Ghana, that is where I took it a notch higher. I contested and won the SRC presidency. And so that brought me to kind of the national student front and limelight, or if that's the right word to use. And so that is when I started engaging with politicians from all the divides. I had good friends in both the NDC and the NPP, and after relating with them, speaking to them and getting to understand the philosophies of all the political parties, I made a decision to join the NDC, and I'm happy where I am. I must say that the NDC has given me the platform to fully nurture my leadership qualities. And where I am today, I can only thank the NDC and lots of mentors within the NDC and even some within the NPP for their support and their grooming. I tell you this story. When I was a student leader, at the time I was contesting for SRC president, usually the political parties will come to campus and then they will brand, okay, this is the NDC candidate, this is all of that. So when I was contesting, I was going as pro in Krumais, and so many of us were CPP members, and so the NDC as a party, did not support me when I was running for SRC president. Okay. But I had individuals like Francis Niboy and co, and Clement Amegache, Jude Sekle, Julian Mause, Kobenas Kobik. Those, they were individuals within. Many of them were pro NDC, by the way, and then so they supported me. Resta, Togo. I mean, many of these guys, and so they held my hand, supported me, and pushed me very fast. So I won the elections, and the rest is history.
You haven't mentioned Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. What was his role in your political grooming? So
the funny thing about my relationship with the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is the fact that when I was contesting for SRC president, there was so much propaganda on campus that he was my financier. Okay. But sincerely at the time, I had not met him. It wasn't true. I had not received even any support from him in terms of finances or anything. But because he was a former NUCS president and then he was a deputy minister, it was so easy to link him to student elections. And so even when he was not playing any role, people naturally will give it to him and accuse him of supporting and all that. But like I said, Nibo and Co were all there. When I won the elections, the Honorable Kojo Nkrumah, then he was a host of the morning show on Joy. He hosted us to discuss some educational reforms. So I was representing students of Ghana. The Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa represented the NDC, and the Honorable Reku Brobe represented the NPP at the time. A hot debate in Tarzan. Yeah. They call him Tarzan. Charles Reku, the veteran. Yes. Yeah, so it was a hot debate that morning on Joy FM. That was my first time I had a personal encounter with him. So after that debate, then he said, "Oh, you are a brilliant young man. I was like you when I was a student leader. Keep it up. Let's be friends." Then he started mentoring me. Sometimes he would drive to campus to visit me and all that. He would invite me to be part of leadership programs and all that. So that is how I became a mentee of the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa. So I decided to do my national service with him. Okay. So I understudied him, worked for him, and one of the things that I love about him as a leader is that he will give you the space to be innovative. And so sometimes he will allow you to make all the mistakes. Then he will come in and correct you. And he's someone who is great at inspiring and encouraging you to be your best. And so I worked with him, learned a lot under him, got to meet many of the people I know in the NDC through him. And then they also took interest in mentoring me. So through him, I got to meet the likes of the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, the Joyce Bowers, and all those people. Then they also took some special liking for me, and they have been supporting me.
You are going to Parliament.
Yes.
Honorable Ablakwa is one of the persons who is celebrated as your MP, or what was it? Your desired MP. If you wanted a good MP, he's been celebrated as that MP that should be emulated by all MPs. You are going to be in Parliament, and this is notwithstanding the election that will be happening, without prejudice to the election that will be happening. But based on the history, it looks very certain you're going to go to Parliament. What are the things you're going to do to make you stand out in Parliament for your constituents?
So last week, I was speaking to a group of people, and I told them that one of the advantages that I have, one of the things I am grateful for, is the fact that I'm entering Parliament as a young man, but with a lot of experience working with other MPs. also with support and guidance from many other experienced MPs. Maybe when Honorable Okudzeto Ablakwa entered Parliament at the age of 32 or so, 32, maybe the level of exposure to other MPs, the experience working with other MPs, and the guidance that I am receiving today from him, from Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Honorable Agboja, and the many others, I believe this even places me in a more advantageous position than many others. The likes of Sam George. Look, I have enjoyed that guidance from them. I mean, it's very rare in our politics to see people like Sam George do everything possible just to make sure that you are doing well. And he went anywhere he meets me, he said, look, Edem, I want you, when you get here, I want you to do a great job. I want you to do better than we are doing. That is why we are all giving you this support. And so I believe that my expectations and the expectations of my constituents, the good people of Ketu North, is that Edem must be an effective representative. And I'll be able to do it also because I have enjoyed and I will continue to enjoy the guidance and the support from other experienced members of Parliament. And my MP, who is in his 20th year in Parliament, the Honorable Aveje, has also been very, very supportive in terms of providing guidance. I mean, we meet very complex situations. I call him, I call other MPs, and they are always good to go. They give you advice as to how you go about some of these things. So I believe that, Sanda, from 2025, I will be able to meet the expectations of my people.
So you've talked about experience. A lot of criticism against young politicians is that you come straight from university and you enter government or you enter Parliament. You don't have any work experience, and then there you are deciding for the nation. You have come from university. You've done national service. What practical work experience do you have? For which reason you should be going to Parliament representing people? It is good that you are youthful,
yes, but
there's also a view that you are too youthful. What do you say to that?
Great. I think that I disagree with people who think that people like Edem Agbana and others who are in their early 30s or late 20s are too youthful to go to Parliament. I don't think so. I think that when you are young, you are competent, and you have what it takes to represent your people, the people will give you the opportunity. When they give, you must be able to deliver. Now, when we talk about experience, the faulty reasoning by many people is that age is synonymous to experience. So you can have a 50-year-old man competing with a 30-year-old person, but a 30-year-old person is more experienced. And I say that I am going into Parliament as a politician with a very, very rich experience, despite being quite young. Now, right from the university where I was SRC president, Sanda, to be SRC president at Ghana's premier university, sit on university council, and be the rep of students, and sit on other boards of the university, it's no joke. You know that. And so if somebody even comes out of the university, serves on university council, a council that many lecturers of even 20, 30 years experience wish they have the opportunity to serve, and you serve there, you can't simply say because the person is just coming from the university, it means the person doesn't have experience. But right after national service, I have had working experience at the Ministry of Education. I've worked as the head of monitoring and evaluation for Maslock National. I was at Maslock until I resigned. When I was resigning, the now Deputy Minister of Finance designate Sticker, he was my boss, and you can confirm when he came.
You worked under him?
Yes, I worked under him.
An MPP
he came,
boss?
Yes. When I was resigning, he really didn't want me to leave. And he has said this even on national TV before, because he came, looked at my department, looked at my output, and said, no, this is a brilliant young man who is effective at what he's doing. So even when there was pressure on him that, oh, this boy is NDC and all of that, he didn't want me to leave. And he has said this himself on national TV. Mm-hmm. But I tendered in my resignation and left because I felt at a point that the working environment was becoming toxic. I didn't want a situation where any document or something happens and you are the first suspect because they assume that because you don't belong
so
to. Even though I'm a very
Akufo-Addo's government.
I started working at Maslock before President Akufo-Addo.
That's what I'm saying, but you resigned.
Yes, but I resigned under Akufo-Addo somewhere later in 2017. So I was the head of monitoring and evaluation at the point. Then I moved on to do many other. I've had working experience with many CSOs and NGOs. I was member of the Digital Opportunity Trust Board, and that's a very prestigious board of an organization based in Canada. I used to travel to places like Kenya, Rwanda to offer training to social entrepreneurs and all of that. So certainly this person cannot be said to be inexperienced. No. And so during my primaries, it was one of the issues that people raised. And I told them, look, there is a difference between being young and being inexperienced. And if I tell you my profile and I show you all the things I have done, the things that I am still doing, you certainly cannot classify me as an inexperienced person. Again, come back to Parliament. There are very practical examples to give. When the likes of, how old was Honorable Haruna Idrisu when he was entering Parliament? But you will agree with me that you can't mention the best 5 MPs in Ghana without mentioning his name. How old was Honorable Sam George? Is he not effective as representing his people? One of the best we have seen as a legislator. How old was Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa when he entered Parliament? And there are even some examples from the NPP side. And so when you look at all of these practical examples, and even couple with the fact that some of us have had real good time experience, even as young as we are, you can be rest assured that given the opportunity, we will do a good job. And I know that the good people of Ketu North have so much confidence in me, and I'm working to meet their expectations.
So if I was asked what my expertise was or what my job was, I would say I'm a journalist. If I asked you what is your profession, what would you say? What's Edem Agbana's profession?
I'm an economic policy analyst, trained, received certification.
So you understand economics?
Yes, policy. I do a lot of policy analysis. On the side, I'm a project manager as well.
I see. What's wrong with our economy?
What is wrong with our economy? There are a number of things that are wrong with our economy. From the political perspective, we all say it's mismanagement. Mismanagement because those placed in charge of the economy are not able to address the fundamental issues. I think that point number one, when you are trying to identify or diagnose what really is wrong with our economy, is the fact that one, we have not been able to, as a country, prioritize the things that will help us as a country generate enough resources and create jobs. And so our economy is largely dependent on decisions of others. It's largely dependent on how other countries are running, and that is why your currency cannot be stable no matter what level of prudent management, whatever they put into it. Because at the end of the day, when you're trading with your other countries, it is the factors from those other places, external factors, that are influenced because you have not been able to build resilience for your currency.
Do you get the sense we can even that up?
Yes, we can. We can do a lot.
With what measures?
The first thing we need to do is to increase productivity. When you increase productivity and then
we were promised from taxation to production.
Yes.
It hasn't happened. So that would have been a good solution.
That would have been a good solution, but they are not doing it. And that is why I believe that the 24-hour economy, how I understand it and how President Mahama intends to implement it, is the panacea to solving many of the economic challenges that we face today. Because when you look at the 3 main reasons for introducing the 24-hour economy, the third reason is the import substitution bit. Now, as we speak today, are you aware that in terms of import food cover, Ghana imports $3 billion worth of food every year.
After planting for food and jobs.
Because planting for food and job was nothing but political slogan with no real-time solutions.
So we didn't produce.
I farm. As I speak today, just today, I paid tractor operators. They are on my farm, plowing for me and all of that. I farm. I'm a farmer. I've been farming for years now. The planting for food and jobs produce no results, and I am ready to debate this anywhere, anytime. Yeah. It was a political slogan meant to deceive the people. They produced fertilizers, gave it out. Farmers were even there was this people taking the fertilizers to neighboring countries to go and sell and all of that. So they have missed it. But look at, for example, the 3 billion I talk about, 1.5 billion of that amount is the importation of rice. I come from a constituency that has the capacity or the potential to produce 990 hectares of rice. Ketu North is the largest rice producing districts or municipality in this country.
Really? What are your rice growing communities?
No, we have the Apalavis, we have Klenomadi, even parts of Apipe, and all those areas. Yes, even the Dekpo and all these places are in my constituency.
Let's go to your constituency.
Yes.
MPs are supposed to be making laws,
yes.
But we also know that you also engage in projects. Are you the law-making MP, or you are going to be the project promising MP?
Not project promising, but project delivering MP, both. So yes, I know I'll be effective at making laws, because you have known me as a very good advocate since my days as a student leader.
Why are you inviting me as a witness?
I know, I mean, because they say all right, so back, I'll be both, because you see, it's true that the fundamental or the primary duty of an MP is to make laws. That is true.
So you do that in the house, but in your constituency,
but in the constituency, because of where we find ourselves, you must embark on development projects.
You can't pretend.
that.
So what are 2 things in your constituency that you think these are things I should fix before I leave Parliament? If in the first 4 years, at least, what are the 2 things I think in this constituency? If I don't do anything quarter, these 2 things I should do them.
Number 1 is agri. I believe we have to fix agriculture in Ketu North. In such as, like I told you, we are the biggest rice producing district in this country. But many of the machinery that goes into the production are not even owned by the indigents. And so sometimes when it is the on season, people come from Bronga, Hafo, the northern other places to come and support, and then they leave. We need to fix agriculture in Ketu North. And I have already started. I've already taken some initiatives, but because of time, you're asking us. The second issue is the human capital development. It's something I'm passionate about. That entails education. We need to fix education in Ketu North. The current MP has done a lot, built a number of classroom blocks, invested heavily in education. But where we are today, it has to do with quality education. That is missing. As we speak, I'm distributing computers to schools and making sure that I support education in Ketu North so that we get the results. Again, as part of human capital development, issues of artisans. We need to support artisans, get people to go into entrepreneurship, get people who are artisans, set them up and all of that. We are doing that. When you come to my constituency today, unemployment is a big issue. For many of the young people, they have become motokulao, and that is the only job that is, that's what is available. But we need to fix the fundamentals, provide the jobs, get people to go and learn all these skills and empower them to start. And so I'm already running a program that I call Empower 500. Some others call it Edem Power 500, where we are recruiting 500 people, training them and setting them up. And so that is what makes the difference. Not just train and set them up, so that they can also go out there and employ others for us to solve the problem of unemployment.
Incoming Honorable Edem Agbana, MP for Ketu North. This incoming.
Oh yes, by like you're saying, we know that in Ketu North there's no contest, but we are working at achieving our target. You said you are not complacent. Yeah, I'm not complacent. So don't be complacent. That's what I'm saying, that we are working at achieving our target of 85% plus.
I wish you all the best, and thank you so much for joining us tonight on Point Blank. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Sanda.
That's Edem Agbana, is NDC Parliamentary candidate for Ketu North. My name is Umaru Sanda Amadu. Production by Kobna Wilson.